Welcome to Deck Analysis and Testing. Today we are looking at S-Force. S-Force is an archetype that's released half a year ago that got new support. The deck is based around having your opponent's monster be in the same column as your monsters, and when they are, they do some really crazy things. Gravitino is a macro, and the new card Lapswell is just Raigeki. So let's have a look at the cards. We won't go through them in too much detail because I have covered most other cards in an older video, so I'll just go over them really quickly. Rapid Shiromaru is your best starter. It gets you access to S-Force monsters from your deck by returning itself back to your hand. It's also a quick effect, which is relevant to a combo with some of the other cards that we are playing. Next is Platina. This card can, when special summon, banish S-Force monster. Main searcher Gravitino. When it is normal special summoned, you could add any S-Force card from your deck to your hand, and also it banishes all monsters that leaves the field in the same column as your S-Force monsters. Edge Razor is a normal summonable monster that also special summons one from your hand. And let's have a look at the new cards. First is Retroactive. This card can be used as a link material from your hand, which is really good to make your link free, because that's pretty hard to make. And also, as a quick effect, you can return this card back to your hand to special summon a level 2 or higher S-Force monster from your hand. And also, you can banish this card from your graveyard as a replacement for any effect that requires you to banish cards from your hand. Next is a Lapswell. This is another one of our new cards. When this is special summoned, you could revive any S-Force monster from your graveyard, and also once per turn you could banish one S-Force card from your hand and destroy all opponent's monsters in the same column as your S-Force monsters, and that is really good to clear everything your opponent has. Next is the spells. We have one of our field spell. This searches any S-Force monster, so it's really good. We have Terraforming to search the field spell. And for the traps, we're playing 3 copies of a Reinforced Truth. This is actually completely free to obtain, and you might be wondering how I got 3 copies of this card, because you could get 1 copy through one of the Duelist challenges, I think, where you can get 1 copy by completing a duel quiz. But you can get 2 more copies by using your KC Cup tickets. So if you have played the previous KC Cup and you've got some tickets from Stage 1, you could use those to get Reinforced Truth. And this makes the deck a lot better because it gives you more ways to access your best starter. But even if you don't have it, it's not that big of a problem because you still have plenty of ways to get to access to this card. For example, you can use your field spell to grab it. You can use Terraforming to grab your field spell. You could use your skill. You could use reinforcements instead of tied up binds. You can, when you life points decrease by 1500, you could add a warrior monster from your deck to your hand. And Shiromaru is a warrior, so you could use that to add it instead of using Reinforced Truth. But I'm playing it, and you should play it if you have it as well. Next is S-Force Chase. It's your main removal. We're playing 3 copies, and it's basically somewhat of a dual wield, but it could be better, it could be worse, because it bounces the same amount of cards that you have on your field. So if you have 2 S-Force monsters, it bounces 2 face-up cards. If you have 3, it bounces 3. Maximum, of course, so you don't have to select exactly 3. But it also has a second effect to be banished from your graveyard if you were to activate, for example, a Rapid Shiromaru's hand banish effect. And finally, we have Power Sink Stone. This card is crazy, because what you can do is you can set Power Sink Stone and then normal summon Shiromaru and then end turn. You don't have to use the effect immediately because it is a quick effect. You could use it during your opponent's turn. So what you do is you wait for your opponent to enter the draw phase, and then you activate your Power Sink Stone, you activate Rapid Shiromaru, tag it out. That's your first effect. And then you will summon Gravitino. Gravitino's effect activates. That's your second effect. And then you grab something like a field spell for follow-up, and that will give it a total of 2 counters on Power Sink Stone because you activated 2 monster effects, and then from now on you just have a skill drain, which is crazy. For the extra deck, we're playing a bunch of generic links that I won't go through, but we are also playing Security Force Justify. This is our main Link boss monster. We will make it sometimes, but usually you can just win just using your big high-level S-Force monsters that we have in our main deck. So Justify has the effect to, once per turn, you can move your opponent's monsters to a zone discard points to as a quick effect, and also negate that monster's effects. So it's a negate. And also, when this card attacks a monster, at the start of the damage step, you can banish all monsters this card points to. So you can just banish monsters without targeting, in case your opponent has some kind of a target protection. For the skill, we're playing Tie-Dye Binds. You probably know what this does. It just gives your monsters free attack, which is nice. And also because you're spamming monsters a lot, you will get quite a bit of attack with this skill as well. Okay, this is the expensive version. Obviously, we're playing 3 copies of Rapper Chiyomaru. This card is really good at 3. It's our best starter. We're also playing 3 Bridgehead to search it. And we're playing better generic staples like Book of Moon and Terrace of the Overroot. I just like Terrace of the Overroot as my limit 3 trap. You could play any other. You could even just not play limit 3 traps at all. You could play Effect Veiler. But I like Terrace of the Overroot because, well, it's a really good card overall, and also it's more generic than IDP, which I quite like. So yeah, for the extra deck, we're playing better generic links, and we're still playing Utopia and Utopia the Lightning because we could theoretically make this card, but you usually won't touch your extra deck at all because your main deck monsters will usually be enough. And for the skill, we're still playing the Tie-Dye Binds. So yeah. Okay, let's have a look at the replays. We are playing the KC Cup Stage 1 because the KC Cup is on right now. The first game we're playing against, none other than the top tier deck in the meta, BLS. We didn't open with Rapid Chiyomaru, but we did open with S-Force Chase and Power Sync Stone and a Reinforced Truth, which gives us access to Chiyomaru. We will do the combo that I told before, which is Power Sync Stone, while having a Chiyomaru to bounce during your opponent's turn. This gives it 2 counters, and now they're under skill drain, which, good luck. But our opponent is playing Dark Magician, so I don't think the skill drain is going to affect him that much if they're going to play vanilla monsters. And they're going to Fusion Summon, which is okay. I have Chase, so that's not that big of a deal. But he's also going to summon a copy of Envoy of the Beginning. So we'll Chase, bounce back the Fusion monster, and unfortunately our monster is going to be destroyed by battle, but that's okay. We will, during our turn, add 1 Edge Racer to our hand, and we'll use its effect to summon the Rappa Chiyomaru. And because Parasite Stone works for both players, we won't be able to activate the effects if we continue to summon, so we will just end turn with a Rapid Chiyomaru on field, and during our opponent's turn, we will go summon our S-Force using the effect of Rapid Chiyomaru. So we will be able to tribute summon our Gravitino next turn and grab a Chase, so during our next turn we could use it to bounce whatever our opponent has. We will use Tie-Dye Binds to crash into our opponent's monster to deal a bit of damage and get rid of his BLS. He's going to grab a Rod, and Rod grab a Circle, hoping to maybe grab a Dark Magician or something. He's going to activate his Circle, but because Chase bounces any face-up card, we are able to bounce his Circle and prevent him from resolving. And also because Circle is hard once per turn, he can't activate it again, and he is going to Scoop. Okay, in our next game, we are also playing against BLS. Everyone is playing BLS in this KC Cup. But it's okay, because we should be able to play through anything that BLS has, because S-Force Chase is just a really good card. We're not going first, but our opponent is probably not going to make too many disruptions, because BLS monsters themselves don't actually have quick effects that disrupt. So we're just going to hope that he isn't going to have too many disruptions. And also, you might be able to notice that we can't actually play with our hand right now, but the Reinforced Truth will be able to give us access to our starter. So that's all good. Our opponent will Book of Moon his own monster, I don't know why. But it does mean that we can't bounce his monster, which is a tiny bit annoying. but that should be okay. He's going to summon another monster and then use his skill to grab another ritual. And he's going to attempt to go to battle. This is when we can activate Reinforced Truth, grab ourselves a Rapid Shield who's going to use Warning Point, which means he doesn't read my monsters because my monster has a quick effect. So he should have waited until I summoned the Edge Razor, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Players just don't read. So we're going to summon 3 monsters, grab ourselves a chase for next turn, and activate the chase we have on field and bounce both of his BLS. But because Gravitino is on the field, it gets banished instead of back to the hand. And he is still going to be able to summon another BLS before ending their turn, but that's okay. We still have 2 more monsters on our field and a Rapid Chiyomaru plus a Chase in our hand, so we have plenty of stuff that we can do. We're gonna grab ourselves a Retroactive so we can make the link using 2 of our monsters plus the Retroactive in our hand to make Security Force Justify, which will be stolen with Crackdown. It's okay, we still could play from here. We're gonna make a Lapswell, which is one of the new cards. We're gonna summon back to Gravitino from our graveyard, grab our 3rd Chase just in case, and we're gonna Lapswell to destroy both of his monsters while banishing the Retroactive as cost. He's going to summon a Magistus. We're gonna bounce both his Magistus and our own Justify, and he scoops. So it is time for game 3, and it is time to use the expensive version. Our opponent is finally not playing BLS. And we also opened with Chiyomaru, plus a field spell. That is really good. And our 2 other generic staples will be able to put a stop to whatever our opponent is trying to do as well. And another thing I like about Terrors of the Overroot is that it works against back row. So if you go first and you have Overroot and your opponent sets free, you can use Overroot to get rid of one of them. So your opponent doesn't have that many disruptions during your turn. But he is going to summon a Rocket. We're going to bounce it back so he can't use his skill. And he's left with basically nothing. And we're gonna combo off during our turn. We're gonna grab another card with Gravitino, but he has a Warning Point, so he's gonna be negated, but that's fine. We're gonna go battle, activate Tie That Binds. He's gonna have Crackdown, but here is why Overroot is so good. We're gonna chain Overroot, send a Crackdown, set back the Warning Point that cannot be activated this turn, and that allows us to go to lethal. Good game.